We're News Radio WGNS 100.5, 101.9, 1450. Online and on your phone at WGNSradio.com. The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Hey, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning Roundtable show with your hosts, Wayne Blair and Rick Hall. And I'm tongue-tied today. Good morning, Wayne. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. It's this impending weather
Get me a
that's
drink
coming
over here or something. I don't know what's going on.
that's coming our way. So, good morning, and it's calm before the storm. Hope y'all had a great Easter weekend, Rick.
We did. We obviously went out of town for the weekend and come back early and had the grandbaby, and she got to chase some eggs down and had a good day.
Yeah,
really
that
good
was. We went so we wouldn't really have a fuss at meal. We went to the Smyrna Event Center. There was 10 of us for their Easter buffet, and it was just outstanding. I texted the town manager afterwards and just bragged on him. The food, the service, the environment. It was just a really great meal, and they do such a good job there.
They sure do.
I wish our society paid more attention to the Savior's resurrection, and that is not just a weekend, but we'd celebrate it 365 days. But that's another conversation, I guess.
I know. I understand completely.
Hey, we got football, USFL.
They did. What about the first weekend? A guy kicks a 64-yard field goal. It's his first kick since high school. Can you imagine?
It's crazy. They some of the rules that they do, that's a little different, kind of almost like Canadian football. But hey, even bad football is better than no football.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Brother Rick, this morning it's an honor and a pleasure to have two great friends and community leaders with us. Smyrna Town Council members Raquel Peoples and Jerry Short, and we have a town council full of Smyrna natives, and makes us feel safe having leaders that love and care about their community, especially when you've grown up there. So welcome, and let's start out with telling a little bit about yourself. Mr. Short is pointing at you, Ms. Peoples, so we may have to get you to pull your microphone a little closer.
Ladies first.
Right. Ladies first. That's always the case.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's see. I am in my second term on the Smyrna Town Council. By profession, I'm an attorney. I've been practicing for 27 years now. The first part.
You start when you were 4?
Not even close. But the first part of my practice, I actually practiced in Atlanta, Georgia, straight out of law school. And then I moved home in 2003. And so I've been here practicing for 20 years now. As far as practicing, I have a law office in Smyrna, and I handle real property issues, business and corporate issues, wills, probate, and estate work, and adoption work. And so my practice has been a little bit eclectic, but that's because I was also a homeschooling mom for 14 years. And so I have 2 children, one that is actually a senior at MTSU and will be graduating this May, and I have a sophomore who is actually attending my alma mater, Smyrna High School. He decided after several years of homeschooling that he wanted to try, as we call it, real school. And so in the middle of his 8th grade year, we started in the Smyrna school. Yeah. So let's see, what else can I talk about?
as far as your uh, childhood and growing up in Smyrna, sports, any kind of sports?
Yeah, actually, I guess I would say I was a tomboy as it comes to sports. I played basketball, I played softball, I played volleyball as well. I played on Smyrna High's team, and I actually played softball till I was 32 years old.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, you're not as big as a bat. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
she
know.
didn't just play; she excelled at it. I mean, she
Well,
was
there
good.
you go.
So yeah, and
but
like you said, I've grown up here. My family goes back actually 7 generations that I have researched so far. So we go back to the 1800s, and
that's
we've
really
lived
cool.
over on Hilltop for most of that time. And so my grandmother actually, there's a street named after my grandmother, Nora Peebles Lane.
Peebles.
That's
See it
off
all the
of
time.
Hilltop. So yeah. So
I did know that fact, but I assumed that was that she was probably your grandmother or maybe your
Yes.
great grandmother.
yes, they moved over onto that street in 1917, and so before it
Oh,
even
wow.
was a street,
Right.
they lived there, and so I felt very honored and blessed that she has a street named after her in the town of Smyrna.
That's pretty
So-
cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with our audience about yourself?
No, I think that's about it. I'm very short on words, so yeah.
Which is not indicative of most attorneys that I know. Is verbose? Is that a good term?
That is a very good term.
Yeah.
I guess you're up, Mr. Short.
Well, I should have gone first because it's hard to follow Raquel. She's an lady.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
yes,
you.
sir.
We are. The town's blessed to have her.
Thank
and,
you.
we just, I enjoy working with her. And if you look at the numbers, she said she was in her second term, and she's been on council longer than I have, but I'm actually in my third term. So look at the numbers and try to figure that out. Yeah, but what happened was I was appointed about 3 or 4 months prior to the end of the term. And so I finished that one out and then ran for election and then ran for re-election 2 years ago. So I really enjoyed working on the council. But like you said, Wayne, I am from Smyrna and have always lived in Smyrna with the exception of 9 months, pretty much when I moved out for college and stayed in Nashville then. But went to a little school called Jefferson, and it's not there any longer. The lake took it, and from there went to Smyrna, Thurman Francis, where we were at school together,
Yes,
you and Wayne and I. And after that, went to Smyrna High School, and after Smyrna High School, did my undergraduate at Belmont, and then my graduate degrees from MTSU. But worked for, started out with Firestone and then became Bridgestone, worked for them for a little over 40 years. Retired about 5 years ago. Wasn't planning on doing anything, but enjoying life. And this opportunity came up about 4 months after retired. I am married to Patty Floyd. A lot of people knew Patty. Patty played basketball, and
Some say you outkicked your coverage, by the way.
yeah, well, everywhere I go, I get that. So, yeah. And you know what? That's okay. You know, we are blessed. Patty was a school teacher for 39 years, and is back into it a little bit right now with helping out on a new school. And we've got 3 boys, and Josh and Tyler and Trenton, and we've got 2 daughter-in-laws, Shelby and Jamie, and then we've got 3 grandchildren, Davis and Sophie and Mackenzie, and we've got another one on the way.
Congratulations.
So that should be here in August. So we're looking forward to that.
I think before we started talking with Rick and I. We were talking about some of the faculty members or teachers that had impact on our lives growing up, and I'm sure we could go all the way back to first grade, but I think two that you and I shared, Mr. McPeak and Miss Tyler. I'm not sure about the class of '89 what impacted them, but just amazing. Of course, Mr. Rakes, and we just had some great people that influenced our lives at Smyrna High School.
We did, and I know you and I was mentioning Miss Tyler, and then Mr. McPeak, but there's so many more.
John Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, Richard Thomas. I still think the world of Richard.
No doubt.
And if I continue to name names, your show wouldn't be long enough. But
Right.
I'm telling you, they influence you. They were great teachers, but they influenced you for later on. And we're just I was blessed to be around those. Mr. McPeak's name always comes up, and he's just I could tell so many stories about Mr. McPeak and being in his class, and again, we wouldn't have enough time to in this show, but we were truly blessed.
We were. Councilmember Peoples, your son is being influenced by Dr. Sutherland, who's been on our show a couple of times, and Rick and I've got to know her really well, and he's in a very diverse program right now.
He is. And I'm glad for it. I think that the more diversity, the better. You get different ideas, you get different cultures, you get different ways of thinking and doing things. And when you are in a space that allows you to do that, I think it makes you a more whole person, a better person to be able to deal with what life is going to throw at you. So I'm excited for him to be there.
Rick, how many languages did Dr. Sutherland say is spoke inside Smyrna High School? Was it 40?
No, there's 32 different languages.
Okay.
The English is a second language. So she walks around with her phone using Translate to be
Translator.
able to help with that. So, but there's 11 different dialects of Spanish if you think of it that way. But there's certain, certain ones you wouldn't think about that she was talking about. I think we got several Egyptian students now that are in the Smyrna Laverne area, and Mandarin, and those that you really don't think about because we got a lot of the Korean population that's come here. So there's two different dialects of that they speak as well. So
There's a group, and I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, Korean. They're from
Korean, the Burmese.
Yeah. And they
But like Interact, there's several that are in that, and that's the ones you're hearing that they're picking Brown and Yale and Harvard, and they've come into the U.S. now and have taken full advantage, and the list of schools that they're looking to go for college is just amazing. And like
Just
Smyrna High, my daughter graduated there, and she did the Cambridge program that they had, and then she went on and did the Bethel, and she graduated with her associate's degree. So she walked the stage at Bethel. We drove to Jackson and Huntington, I guess, but a couple weeks before she graduated at Smyrna High, she walked the stage up there with 64 credits and an associate's degree. So
yeah,
we paid it, and it was,
it's awesome, the
invaluable.
opportunities.
Yeah.
My son has actually just been offered a chance to go through the National Youth Leadership Forum.
Cool.
And he's been invited to go for their business innovation course this summer, and so he's going to go and spend a week at Yale.
Yeah.
Opportunities are amazing. And of course, they're dealing with an expansion process going on right now, which I'm sure probably puts a few hiccups in their day. But they're moving right along with it. So.
Yes, they are. And actually, we had he plays baseball as well, but there was a baseball tournament this past week while they were on spring break, and they did not miss a beat. They were still doing construction over by the new weight room. They were pouring tar, and all we could say was, "Please excuse our progress. Hope you enjoy your game." And so they were not missing a beat. But a lot of the people who actually had come in from out of town, they were from Ohio and Indiana. They were excited to see that. They were like, "That's great for your school. We're glad you all are getting that." So, when you see other people who are just excited for the progress that's being made, that speaks volumes. So
The facility is just expanding with the athletic part, with the football field, and now the academic part, extending the building. I think the capacity is supposed to be 2,500, but I suspect before it's over with, it will be past that.
Where I was this past weekend, they're closing schools because they don't have the kids. People are moving away, and obviously Illinois is one of those states that they say there are a lot of people leaving from. But I can't imagine knowing that we don't have enough students that a high school's been there for 7 years is now closing but where are they coming? And that's what we're building. So while we complain about it sometimes and things like that, there's a lot of places in the country right now that would trade places with us with the growth we've got and the prosperity, and to be able to shop. And it's an event to go shop at some of those places up there because everything's shut down.
Well, there's communities here in Tennessee that are struggling with the economic part of it. That their children will get an education and they'll move away and never come back, and it's just the population is dwindling.
We ran into St. Louis, and the St. Louis around the arena, where if you think of the Rams when they played in the bowl there, everything around that's closed up now. It's just nothing, no growth, nothing. They took the Federal Reserve building that's been there since I've been to St. Louis a lot, but I think it started in the early 1900s was when they built that building. They've tried to make a museum into that thing now because the Federal Reserve just up and left it sitting there. So, Jerry, I had a question. So a couple of weeks ago we had Judge Terry Fan on, which he went to Smyrna, and he told us a story about when he asked Vicky wanted to get married, and he had to call Mr. Rakes and say, "Mr. Rakes, can I sit down and talk to you?" And I think Mr. Rakes knew what was coming. He said, "Well, sure, we can talk, but you're not coming to the house. You need to come to my office at Smyrna High and meet with me." And I had more respect coming out of him because I don't know, like this morning, I was tongue-tied. I can't imagine going down and sit down with Mr. Rakes and ask him that. And I think the same, my first boss was Tommy Floyd, which was your father-in-law.
Right.
And I had so much respect. And, he was an icon of Smyrna, if you figure all those years working for Mr. Pete. But what was that like when you had to go to Mr. Tommy and talk to him?
I'm
putting you on the spot, I know. But.
Yeah, you are. But to be honest with you, I was too afraid to go ask him, so I just went ahead and gave Patty a ring. But I'm telling you, that was he was a gentle giant.
Man, I know.
And I loved that man. We would sit back and laugh, and he was one of those at the house. Earlene would, of course, you know how Earlene was as well, and something would go on, and he'd get tickled of it. He would never say anything. He'd just sit and laugh, but he would mess with her all the time. But I will remember this one story, and he had a neighbor, Zeke Clemens, and Zeke had this garden, and he was so proud of his garden, and but the rabbits kept getting in there, and so it was Easter, and Zeke had a cage to catch them rabbits to keep them out of his garden, and Tommy went and got a chocolate bunny and stuck it in that cage. and sit and watch Zeke go out there on Easter morning, look in that cage, see that rabbit. But that was the kind of person he was. He was just constantly doing something. But I tell you what, he'd give you the shirt off his back, and as you know, he would help anybody. But I was never. I never was. I say I wasn't afraid to do anything. I was a little afraid about the ring part, but he just. we would do things together. It was like, running around with sometimes with another brother.
I know.
But,
He was a jokester. When I had to go to him and say I was going to take a job with the police department, he says, well, I'm not ready to get rid of you yet. You're going to need to stay here a little bit longer. So I'm trying to think, well, how's a way I could maybe do both? But he knew going into it that, we had the commissioners, y'all were over certain ones. And so I had police and fire was Paul Johns, and he was the male guy, but he worked next door.
Right.
When I applied to be a police officer, then obviously I think they got together and talked. So Tommy knew coming into it he's going to give me a hard time. So I'm thinking, well, man, what shift would I be on in the police department? I could come work here at night because I didn't want to disappoint him. And great man, real good.
Yes,
Since we're reminiscing, three gentlemen that Jerry and I went to school with, you played basketball with. I had to give up. My parents made me give up basketball, and I had to choose football. But Larry Peebles and Steve Lewis and Frankie Jenkins. We used to call them three musketeers because they were inseparable and really good athletes and just great men. And just sitting here, I thought of them, and they made me smile because they were such good guys. So now Larry was your
Uncle.
Okay. I meant to ask you that so many times, but as usual, things just
No
go
worries.
away. But
No worries.
just a really great guy, and just an amazing Christian man
Yes.
as well.
I agree. He was married. He was married to Carolyn. So
Right.
Carolyn is
Right.
my aunt by marriage. Larry was one of 5. So my grandmother had 5 children, and he was the youngest son. So, but he passed away. It's been quite a few years now. But he passed away on Christmas
we
Day.
lost him.
so-
He was young. He was that was a sad day. I think Steve
He has passed away as well.
passed, but Frankie
Frankie's-
is still roaming around.
Yes, he is.
But
He is.
great athletes. They were
Yes.
just and good guys.
And you were talking about teachers at Smyrna High School, and Rick and I were actually talking about coaches, and you were talking about teachers that inspired or that you remembered, and he mentioned Coach Lyons, and
Pierre.
I remember Coach Gill. So, and so I
We
actually
could
had the
talk to him
opportunity.
about how he showed
Oh
you.
yeah. So I got to work with him in 2 capacities. So he used to be my basketball coach, and also he was a previous town manager for the town of Smyrna.
Right.
So
Right.
He called me actually the other day. Remember Scott Parker that we went through school with, and he had the heart condition. He ended up passing away. His father just passed away on Friday.
Oh, wow.
Funeral's going to be on Wednesday, but he called me and talked to me. But I'm like the same thing. I looked up a lot to Harry Gill because through Scott's dad, they played golf, and I got to go play golf. That's how I kind of learned to play golf through
Okay.
Scott's dad and Harry. But Scott's dad was a lefty, and Harry was a right-handed, and I hit right-handed, so Harry would let me use his clubs. But I was always intimidated by him. He was in school. He was, like you said, he always kind of looked up at him, his stature, and he was just a great guy. And then I ran for county commission, and I'd stated in the League of Women Voters forum that I wasn't happy with the way the direction the educational program was going. And what I meant by that was I wanted to fund them more and help with the schools and get some additions done. And he took it as like he was doing a bad job. And the early voting, I'm still a foot taller than he was, but he had me in a corner. He gave me grief. I felt like it was coaching day. He gave me a hard time. But, we worked it out and been great friends since that day. But he sure thought I was picking on him. But hey, we're going to take our first break. You're listening to the council members Raquel Peoples and Jerry Short with the town of Smyrna. And we'll take our first break, pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
Today is a day to be weather aware. Severe storms capable of producing damaging winds, tornadoes, and hail possible in Rutherford County this afternoon and evening. Stay with WGNS and Rutherford Weather. Be sure to follow RUCO Weather, RUCO Weather, on Facebook, on X, and YouTube, or just go to RutherfordWX.com.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in Chattanooga 2 days only at the Marriott downtown Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
This message for all the men out there. Ladies, cover your ears. If you've been feeling tired and grumpy and have noticed a lack of motivation and drive, have weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone levels. And at Low T Center, they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. It's as simple as a blood test with their on-site lab, and they'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. What I love about Low T Center is geared towards us, men. They know we don't like to wait around. They know we're impatient, and they know that we like things simple. For me, at times, that means making things a little more simple to understand, too, because we're guys, and we're more focused on heading home to start working on that project car in the garage. Who knows what you're thinking? We're guys, there's no telling. But let me recommend Low T Center. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment there, and they have the affordable and convenient treatment options that include physician-monitored self-inject at-home treatment for their established patients, shipping treatments directly to you. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
Find out what's happening locally. Tune to WGNS. There are 2 types of grief support groups here to help you in our community, and they're both free. Every Wednesday morning at 10, there's a grief support group meeting at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. That's Wednesday mornings at 10. The other one is a walking grief support group. It's been found that walking is therapeutically good for those grieving. The walking grief support group is the next morning, Thursdays at 9:30, and they meet at the picnic shelter at Oakland's Park, right next to Oakland's Mansion. Thursday mornings at 9:30, and they're both free. Oh, the Parkinson Support Group meets on the first and third Friday of each month, 10 o'clock, at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. And right around the corner, the 25th Anniversary Ice Cream Social at Greenhouse Ministries. That'll be Wednesday, April 17th. Circle that noon event on your calendar. And let's head over to Greenhouse Ministries and help them celebrate their 25th anniversary. From News Radio WGNS, those are Good Neighbor Events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see periods of showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon with cloudy skies, a high in the upper 70s. Tonight, good chance for rain and storms, a low near 44. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 72.
Middle Tennessee Electric organizing Rutherford County's 23rd Annual Earth Day celebration Saturday, April 20th, 10 to 2 on the Murfreesboro Square. Check out the Kids Zone, hands-on games and activities, free fun for the whole family. More online at rcearthday.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's our pleasure this morning to have Smyrna Town Council members Raquel Peebles and Jerry Short. And we've kind of been reminiscing since we're all Smyrna High School grads and community members. Maybe we talk a little bit about town government. Jared, before the show, we were talking about growth boundaries a little earlier too.
Yeah, we all the towns have an area in which they can grow on. Murfreesboro can go to a certain area and can't go past that. Smyrna also has a growth boundary. Basically, our growth area now is going to be more towards out Jefferson Pike, which can go really all the way to the racetrack right before you get to Wilson County line, and then over towards what's called Mona Road in that direction. So it's a little past 840. So we've got some area that we can grow there, and we can also grow out Amable Road. If you look at the town, obviously you can't go any further than Laverne in that direction. So we're landlocked at that part. The lake kind of gets us going towards Mount Juliet into that area, so we're landlocked there. Murfreesboro's got us landlocked on the other side. So really the only way we're going to do is go a little bit, I guess, south towards down Amble Road, like I said, out in Jefferson Pike, out in that direction. And I'm really excited about at least the Jefferson Pike, well, all of them for sure, but we're doing the widening out on Jefferson Pike, and Smyrna Ready Mix has a lot of the property out there, and Mike Hollinshead and his family have done so much for the town and so much for the community, so much for the state, and so much for the country. I mean, they're just expanding, but we're blessed to have that family out there, and I'm really excited about what's headed that direction. Obviously, I live out on Jefferson Pike, so I've seen the widening of the road.
You've experienced the
yeah,
pinches of it as well,
experienced
right?
that. That's right, and it's one of those deals where is it something that that's helped me? No, it probably hadn't helped me. I've got a road that's a little bit closer to my front window, but it was something that helps the town, and that's what our role, that's what our job is, to do what's best for the town.
So, how far out is the growth boundary down Amable Road?
Almost to 840, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Almost to 840.
Oh wow, that's quite a ways.
Yes, yes.
And it kind of bumps up against what we call Blackman, the Blackman
That's correct.
community,
That's
I
correct.
guess.
Well, there was a neighborhood several years ago out Independence Hill that came before the town, and I don't know if, I think it ended up all falling apart, but they were wanting y'all to get utilities out there as soon as possible to develop the land out there, and I think we were looking at following the creeks. to
We're
get a
actually
sewer
still
line.
looking at that.
Still doing it, yeah.
We
So
talked
that's a
about that
long
at our
way out
workshop.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that you look at what we thought was out in the country back when we were going to school, and now that's part of the town.
Yeah.
And some of it is still in the county, but if they want to annex in, then they have the ability to do that.
That's right. That's right.
Where's Anvil Road as far as the state and then widening that? I know that when Pepsi came in, it was brought up and talked about a little bit, but I know they had a different way they were going to look at doing Anvil Road and 924. Is that on the radar still, or where are they at with that? Good question.
I would say it's actually on pause for the moment. Not that it's not going to be addressed, but the priority now is the choice lanes for 24, and the state is looking at how to address traffic issues down I-24 between 840 to Nashville, and they are in the process of doing a study and trying to figure out how to create choice lanes. And so before spending money where we're widening the streets like Amityville or Sam Ridley, it makes more sense for them to fix the priority rather than us change something and then spend more money because it's going to be needs to be redone after the choice lane issue is addressed. So I think the best way to say that is now that the choice lanes is the priority, but Amityville is still on the radar. It's just the state has to prioritize which thing goes first.
With the growth boundaries, since this land stretches well past your present town city limits, as far as the zoning with residential and multifamily and commercial, how is that addressed for property that you haven't that hasn't been annexed as of yet? And of course, we all know that annexation now is a little more difficult than it was in the past.
It comes in, and you jump in anytime you want to. It comes in as the residential first,
Okay.
and then from there, it if they want to change, then it gets changed through.
Okay, they have to come before the council.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we can't actually annex someone. The property owners have to make the request to
Right.
the town to be annexed in. So that's a little different than in years past.
Right. Yeah. I guess that was changed, about 5 or 6 years ago, possibly, or
At
even
least.
more.
Yeah, more than
More.
that. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, because cities and towns were annexing like crazy prior to that statute, I suspect.
And I said it comes in automatically residential. There could be, if there was some property, let's just say out towards 840, where there's already industry out there.
Sure.
They could actually come in and request that to be brought into the town and brought in at that type of zoning.
Sure. We're blessed to have a very robust parks and recreation program with the town. Of course, Rick and I are extremely proud of the partnership with the town and Christy Houston and the Rotary Club for the all-inclusive playground. My grandchildren have taken advantage of that several times, and would love to see something along that line over there on the southwest part of the town as well. As far as new parks developing, anything on the horizon?
And you're right. I wouldn't put our parks up against any around. We've got people coming from all over the country playing baseball out at the Cedarstone, and that is we're looking at that as far as some expansion there. We do. Mike Moss and his team does a fantastic job with the parks, and I was thinking about that the other day, and the people that are doing that, I was thinking about one department in the parks. It's not just a job for them; it's also something they enjoy, because I was thinking about this one particular department, and not only do they do that every day, but in the evenings, one of them helps coach your son in baseball.
Yeah.
One of them is there doing the announcing and also keeping score in basketball, and then you got another one that's coaching a kid's baseball team. So it's not just something that they do for a living; it's something they do for fun too. So when there's passion there, it shows.
The scheduling of all these teams, be it soccer or baseball or softball, or that seems to be almost an impossible task to me when you have them going day after day after day after day, and there's hundreds of teams playing throughout the town. Just that someone could be smart enough to get all those teams scheduled at different times and different days is amazing to me.
Well, we're on grandparents' duty this week. Both our stepdaughter and son-in-law, they both had to go out of town on work trips in 2 different parts of the country. So we have the granddaughter. Well, she's got soccer practice twice this week, and Grandpa's tired. It just started.
That's why you have kids when you're young.
I know, man.
I think all 4 of us have had that experience at some point in time.
Still having
that
it.
soccer park.
Still doing it.
Hey, that soccer park's full, guys. It's amazing what they're.
We've got some
they've
great
done.
leagues.
Man, I know.
Some great leagues.
And everybody's found out about the Smyrna Rotary Park. A lot of out of the Nashville area and places are coming down Smyrna now, and it could actually be twice the size of what it is. I guess we could have something like Cherry Lane is, but by the amount of people and them trying to schedule and keep, the teams going.
Some of the proceeds from the Rotary Fish Fry this year are designated to go into the Smyrna Rotary Park. I'm not exactly up on what the improvements that are supposed to be made, but that's my understanding that some of the proceeds from the fish fry are going into the Rotary Park this year.
Well, we're certainly blessed to have the Rotary. I'm telling you, they do a fantastic job of supporting the town.
Well, just going down Sam Ridley and seeing the Blue Angel Memorial and seeing the all-inclusive park, adjacent to it, is pretty cool. I tell you, the roundabout, as far as I'm concerned, just giving
the extra
exit out of the back of the park is one of the best move I think the town has done in quite some time. Although we all continue to struggle with the roundabouts, but at least that exit, coming out the back way and going down Nolan Drive, rather than having to try to work your way back onto Sam Ridley, which I think during peak times kind of scary.
Mm-hmm. It's been a great addition. We had our Easter egg hunt a couple of weeks ago. That lasted all of maybe 10 minutes, but it was a parking lot full of kids and families, and to get out of the park was no problem.
Yeah,
I mean, it
cool.
has definitely made a tremendous difference.
I bet that egg hunt was like piranha.
Less than 5 minutes.
It was 10 minutes tops. 10 minutes tops.
That's
but it was
funny.
great. It was a lot of people out there, and I love how we parks and in this case fire and the police, how they all contribute to being an asset in the town, and we do a lot of things for our citizens, and I think it's just like you said, some towns are not experiencing what we're experiencing, so we're definitely very blessed.
Yeah, I had some family and some cousins in from St. Pete, Tampa area, which they're a high growth area as well, but they rode around Smyrna and they just loved it here because of they said it feels like a home place versus everything down there is obviously turned into concrete, so they really liked it and how small the lots are, and I said, well, we got those areas of town that unfortunately came in, but yeah, they really liked it here. And she's a assistant principal, so she was looking at our school system versus what she's in down there if they ever wanted to move up this way, but we'll see. I said no because that's a vacation spot for us, so she doesn't need to move anywhere. We need to take our second break, but I want to lead with you guys, and y'all can think about it while we're on break. But what's two things, I know next week is council retreat where you're going to go budget time again, and maybe two things that you'd like to see coming into the Smyrna, or ideas that you've got. I think y'all, 2 years into this latest term, and maybe y'all can come up with a couple of things that y'all'd like to see happen. Sound good? All right, we're going to take our first break and we'll be right back with you, or second break now. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates.
Today is a day to be weather aware. Severe storms capable of producing damaging winds, tornadoes, and hail possible in Rutherford County this afternoon and evening. Stay with WGNS and Rutherford Weather. Be sure to follow RUCO Weather, RUCO Weather, on Facebook, on X, and YouTube, or just go to RutherfordWX.com.
In a world where some saw only an open field, Middle Point Landfill saw an opportunity for dreams to flourish. You see, in 2019, Middle Point made a $125,000 investment into the Oakland High School football field, which was an investment into tomorrow's leadership. The turf that Middle Point helped to lay at Oakland helped pave the way for some students to become standout players at schools like UT and MTSU, and one became a coach at LSU just last year. We're Middle Point Landfill, and we're proud to support the dreams of our youth.
Life is best when lived in motion, and Bud's Tire Pros will help keep you and your ride in motion and on the road while ensuring you're ready for any
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
Listen each weekday morning at 9 o'clock for the Roundtable here on News Radio WGNS. Interesting hosts and guests with the news, views, politics, sports, and people that are shaping Rutherford County. Here on News Radio WGNS.
The Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in downtown Murfreesboro.
We are very blessed to have volunteers, to have friends that are decorators that come in and merchandise our store and do our window displays that help with linens, that help with jewelry, that help just make the store look really nice.
Proceeds from sales benefit Greenhouse Ministries, a faith-based nonprofit serving the underserved here in Murfreesboro. The Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street across from the tall NHC building.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we're watching the radar a little bit, and we've got some nasty weather coming our way, so everybody might want to keep their heads up for that. But this morning it's been Rick and my pleasure to have Smyrna Town Council members Raquel Peoples and Jerry Short, and we've had quite the conversation prior. Rick, I think you left us with asking the council members to come up with a couple of topics that they wanted to discuss.
Well, yeah, like I said, I think it's the position way growth is, you're having to be reactive a lot. But I'm just curious what ideas that you guys are thinking that you'd like to see the town head in a direction, or something you'd like to share with the people, your ideas in the future.
Okay. Go first. I'll do whatever you want to do.
I think what you just mentioned is really a priority, is the management of growth, because we are growing so fast, and you are right, a lot of times we are reactionary, and I don't know that we can get ahead of it, but I think it's our responsibility to try to manage it. And as far as a plan, I don't know what that looks like. I just know it's something that we need to be cognizant of and always keeping on our radar as to what kind of growth is coming into the town. I think that one of the things that has become a priority for us is the type of housing. And so we look at senior housing a lot now. And so in several of our new developments, we've made a point to make sure that is an area that developers are aware of, that senior housing is important to us. And so I think that's one of the things, because the town of Smyrna has been in several different lists where retiring in Smyrna is a big deal. And so we want to make sure we do have the type of housing that will fit individuals who want to retire here. So I think that that's important, the management of growth itself. And just, I would say the second thing for me is infrastructure, which we are constantly working on. And I think our town manager is Brian Hercules. He is good at keeping abreast of that, as far as the management of the growth and staying on top of the infrastructure. We have several projects, like Jerry was speaking of, the Jefferson Pike, and then we have the other items like the Amaville Road and the Sam Ridley Parkway that has been upgraded. So I think that just dealing with our infrastructure, so that as we get all this growth, that we can try to make it a better place for our citizens to drive and maneuver. That's just something on my radar. Those would be two of the things that I think we have to constantly keep an eye on.
Do your ordinances with, like, especially with the senior 55 and older developments that come in, is it wrote in the ordinance anything as far as what ownership? Like, we're running into it a lot now with the insurance industry. So if you write, like, a condo association comes in and they write the association, and then usually when they develop them and they go through, it's an 80-20. So it has to have 80% ownership of people live there that own them, and then 20 could be a rental. But unfortunately, a lot have turned to the rental side, and now when they have insurance claims and they come out and they find out, and they're the other way, they're 20% owned and they're 80% rented now, especially around in this area because of colleges and things like that happen. So is there something wrote in the ordinance that helps Smyrna
in the covenant? So when they do a deed, that it has to be the 55 plus.
Good.
That language is supposed to be in there.
Yeah, we've just run into that a lot here lately. I'm trying to do one up in East Tennessee, and it's just a bear to find property coverages. They just don't want to do them anymore. If you're more than that 80%, they just don't want to be even involved in them. So
Sam Ridley is about to be completely occupied, isn't it? Just about every square inch of land.
It's getting there. I was thinking about that the other day. But it's amazing how I'll look up and here comes something new. I didn't realize there was a corner right there to put, like, Champy's is coming in and it's already open. And I go, gosh, I didn't realize there was a corner right there. So,
I didn't know there was open.
It's getting.
We have the ribbon cutting. Is it this week? It's this week,
yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Jerry, do you got anything you're thinking about?
Well, I could do what I did in school, and I would say that Raquel stole my answer. But she's exactly right. My concern is controlled growth, and I said that from day one. My background was in an industry, and so was my educational background. And you could look and tell if your industry wasn't growing, it was dying. And I could look at different plants in 5 years before they shut down and know they were going to shut down because you weren't spending the capital money to get it to where it needed to be. And so for me, we've got to continue to look at the areas where we need to spend, like she said, in infrastructure or whatever that is, to make sure that we continue the growth. And we're in a good situation, like you said earlier, Rick, where that town would love to swap places with us. And I think where we're located, being right outside of Nashville, it's going to happen whether we want it to happen or not. And we've just got to control what we put in there. I've had the same issue with some people on in our group about the types of houses and things that we put in, because if we put the same thing in there, then we're not going to grow the way I would like to see us grow, and we need to be diversified in our housing, in our size of housing, the number of apartments that we have, which we have slowed some of that down. Most of the apartments that we have now coming in is an area that has already been zoned for apartments that we can't do anything else about. Once it gets zoned there, unless the owner wants to zone it some other way, we can't change it. But we have certainly slowed down any of the new stuff. But that's what our challenge is to, okay, well, I know the developers are in the, they're going to want to make money as well. And you can make money with the land prices by putting as many houses as you can put on the land. And we were driving through Williamson County. It was Saturday, and GPS carried us through a different way because of some stuff on the interstate. And I was looking through there and I thought, what beautiful homes and what beautiful land and all. Now, I don't think we're going to be a Williamson County. That's just not our DNA. But we can at least look ahead and to help improve it. I use a story of somebody said, well, that's what people want is this size homes. And so that's the reason we build them. And I said, well, if Nissan only built a certain size car, that's all they're going to sell. And then people go, well, that's what they want. Well, no, that's what they've got to buy from. Mm-hmm. So I really would like to see us control our growth and be diversified in that, because I don't like to lose people that want to live in Smyrna to another town because we don't have the product for them. Sure. And then the other thing is, obviously, is Jefferson Pike. We've got a great opportunity out there. I was looking at Abbeville Road last night, and we've got a lot of big warehouses out there on Abbeville Road. And that was put out there a long time ago. Well, when you put that there, then you don't have room for some of the other things, the restaurants and those types of things. And I remember we had something come up, and Raquel was very strong about it, is that we needed to make sure there was enough room out that road for the retail growth and all that. And I applaud her for what she did on that. But I'm hoping that we can make sure that happens on Jefferson Pike, is that we don't grow this area with a lot of big buildings, at least right next to the area where 840 is, because there's a lot of room out there to see some really good things go there.
Well, there's a pretty good stretch from the park going towards 840 that is marshland that I don't think you could probably do anything with. So.
And the government owns that. The government owns a lot of it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That there's going to be a finite amount of property that can be actually developed.
Yeah, a lot of it is owned by when Percy Priest came, they purchased that property.
Well, thank y'all for being with us.
Yeah.
I hate the weather's coming in like it is today for you guys, but please come back. I know we try to keep you guys on the mix with us, but I know people, Smyrna, Wayne said it before the show, we're really surprised with the number of people who listen to us a lot of times. So it seems like this is a good avenue to get things out to the public, just like y'all's. Obviously, you found out we're on YouTube now as well. So it's like the council meeting. So
well, we appreciate everything that you guys do for the town and having us as well. But just the positive things that you do for our town.
Well, God bless y'all for your leadership and your community service. We're grateful for your leadership.
We sure
Thank
are.
you. We appreciate you all as well.
Yep. Well, everybody, I hope y'all have a great day, and please be safe out there. I think we've been playing some commercials with our Rutherford weather channel that WGNS here, Brian's kind of keeping up with and staying abreast. So if you're looking for local weather and don't want to go in tuning into the Nashville one, seeing all around, you can listen to Brian. I'm sure he'll give posts throughout the day on his YouTube. We're on everything now, Twitter, Instagram, and please listen to Brian and stay safe out there. But we'll be back with you again next week as always, and I hope y'all have a great week.